Hey guys, afternoon. Name's Joseph Smith, and currently a student at Texas A&M Kingsville University, and I wanted to kind of show you guys about a project that I'm currently doing on Texas law schools. So before I kind of get into that, I want to share a personal statement about myself. Again, my name is Joseph Smith. My hometown from Pearland, Texas, which is right outside of Houston. Um, I'm a double major in political science and history, and kind of hopefully what I want to do with those majors is either go into law school at the University of Houston or become a academic advisor. So, as you guys know, there are an abundance of law schools in the state of Texas for applicants to apply to. In fact, there are actually, give or take, 9 or 10 law schools that you could apply to. However, trying to find the perfect law school that kind of fits the needs for every single applicant can be, quite challenging, especially when you want to become a high quality lawyer in the future. So, kind of my hope in this PowerPoint is to kind of create a recommendation for the best law school in Texas that offers an affordable cost within the best location that can give students a chance to become a quality level lawyer, um, and go into whatever law field they want to. So overall, my initial research on the top law schools in Texas led me to 5 current universities that offer the best opportunity of becoming a lawyer. So, kind of the 5 universities or locations we'll be looking at are the University of Texas at Austin, Texas A&M University, Baylor University, Southern Methodist University of Law, and Houston Law Center. So, obviously, based on my research, I've created a brief overview of each law school. Um, I'll be talking about their locations, what's unique about those universities in terms of where their location is. Um, Obviously, I've kind of looked at extensive research online, university surveys, uh, test score datas to collect information I need to compare law schools. We'll also be looking at admissions requirements. And by admissions requirements, I know we'll be talking about the usual GPA, LSAT, letters of recommendation, graduation rate, pretty much all those things that kind of are pretty much what a law school would look into a into its future applicants, um, or for anyone who would want to become a high level lawyer. Yeah, so going over the summary, as I've talked about in the current slide, we'll be looking at admissions, LSAT scores, GPA requirements, bar exam, which is the Texas bar exam, which is what students will be taking when they get into law school to become a lawyer. Letters of recommendation, obviously tuition fees, which are kind of the most important things, graduation rate, and location. So first school we're going to look at is the University of Texas at Austin Law School, located in Austin, Texas. So obviously, the university is kind of ranked as one of the top law schools in the state of Texas with an acceptance rate of 32%. Uh, School requires students to meet a GPA of 3.8 and an average LSAT score of 170 to be accepted. So obviously, to get into the school, you're going to really need some high grades and a high LSAT score. One great thing about UT is that it's one of the top 50 rated programs, not only in the state but in the nation. So tuition fees comes in about 36,400, and for in-state residents and for non-state residents, it's about 54,000. So overall, UT is a very rigorous law school to get in. However, the school has graduated 95% of its students in the past through its Texas bar exam. So obviously, these are um, maps of LSAT scores, GPA, and first year student tuition cost. So obviously, you can see here score of 170 on the LSAT, a GPA of 3.84, and the tuition rate and fees for first year students. So basically, overall, I would say UT is it's a pretty good school, but it's a very rigorous school to get into. Um, it's good for being a lawyer, but however, it can be quite expensive school if you want to go there. So the second school we're going to look at is the University of Texas A&M School of Law, located in Dallas Fort Worth. Um, it has an acceptance rate of 29%, 29% and an LSAT score of 163 and a GPA of 3.84. Um, Tuition and fees are kind of pretty cheaper at this university. Fee is kind of 32,600 for in-state and 48,000 for out-of-state residents, which is pretty good compared to the University of Texas. Room and board cost about 19,500. Kind of the annual cost would be pretty much $77,000, 200. Um, Great thing about Texas A&M is that it's located in Fort Worth, which is near the Dallas hub. So it's a pretty good location and pretty affordable cost for students. It also pretty much offers job opportunities within the Dallas Fort Worth area for many students looking for outside jobs while they're going to law school. So yeah, looking at the key statistics, what I talked about in the last slide, LSAT scores and pretty much GPA scores. Here's tuition and fees for the law school program and from 2022 to 2023 for full-time students and tuition fees for part-time students. So our third school is the University of Baylor, located in Waco, Texas. So the university has an acceptance rate of 30% and GPA of 3.62. Average LSAT score for admission is 161, which is a little bit of a above average score. Tuition fees for Baylor Law is set at $61,800 for the program. Overall, Baylor is a pretty reasonably priced school, uh, reasonably priced for a private university. Baylor kind of has its own unique quarter system, consisting of 4 quarters: fall, winter, spring, and summer. I'm not really sure what that's kind of about though. Yeah. So over here, kind of like a chart of the tuition fees for the summer, for actually this summer and next spring um, semester for students at Baylor. We also have pretty much GPA requirements and other things. So looking at our fourth university, is Southern Methodist Dedman School of Law, located at Dallas, Texas. So Southern Methodist has an acceptance rate of 41%, kind of, and the requirement to get into school is pretty much 3.7 for applicants, so it's slightly higher than Baylor's. Average LSAT score is 163. Tuition fees usually come in about 61,000 for a full-time JD program. Um, Good thing about SMU, kind of offers joint JD and MBA programs. for applicants who want to pursue a career in both business and commercial law in the future. SMU has a graduation rate. Yeah, actually, SMU pretty much graduates its students um, who take the bar exam with a 85 success rate for first time takers. So over here you can kind of see, yeah, it's kind of cut off, but you can kind of see the chart. Pretty much everything I talked about in the last slide. Median GPA 3.7, median LSAT 163. Tuition and fees, I know it's kind of cut off, but kind of pretty much totals at about $61,000 for applicants, for first year students, actually. So, last but not least, University of Houston Law Center, located in Houston, Texas. Kind of pretty much ranked as one of the top 60 law schools in the nation. I know it used to be top 50, but I guess it's top 60 now. So the U of H has an acceptance rate of 38% and a median score of pretty much 3.7 for its GPA. LSAT scores for admissions is 161, which is pretty average. Tuition for full-time students is about 32,700 for state residents and 44,200 for out-of-state residents. So most applicants who are looking to apply to U of H usually major in political science, psychology, economics, and finance. Actually, this past year, the university has graduates pretty much consistently have outperformed the overall bar passage of its first-time test takers from all Texas law school. And pretty much they have a 84% success rate for first-time students who take the bar exam. Again, this is kind of the pretty much table of stats and statistics. Everything I pretty much talked about in the last slide. I know it's a little bit blurry and a little bit cut off, but it's pretty much everything I've talked about in the last slide. So this table here kind of comes from the Board of Law Examiners, kind of looking at the Texas bar exam statistics. Basically, this is a percentage rate or the percentage of the passing rates for students who've passed the bar exam for first-time examiners and obviously repeaters. So kind of looking at the graph for first-time examiners, you can see obviously Baylor comes in at good 95%. Coming in probably at second is Texas A&M, and then at third, I think it's actually SMU for first time. So obviously Baylor has a very high success rate, followed by Texas A&M. But if you look to the right, obviously in terms of repeaters, it's actually Texas A&M that has a better success rate for students who have to repeat the exam, followed by, I think it's Baylor. So obviously looking at the graph or looking at the table, both Baylor and Texas A&M kind of, I guess you could say, are able to pretty much safely graduate their students at a higher success rate. So over here we kind of have a survey or a law school program survey that I created on Google Docs. The link will be provided down below in the slideshow. So the survey I kind of created, I've pretty much asked students pretty basic questions, what they know about law school, if they're interested. Obviously, you can see from the first question, I've asked, are you interested in going to law school? Most of the students I've say who've taken the survey have been interested. Obviously, I've also asked them, do you know someone who is interested or currently interested in the law program? Again, a majority of students said yes. So kind of looking at question three, if you were interested, what law school would you attend? Funny thing is, most students pretty much pick the University of Houston Law School Center. So I'm guessing maybe most of them come from U of H or they're just looking at it. I've asked students on a scale of 1 to 10 having no knowledge and 10 being very knowledgeable, um, how familiar are you with these schools? In the previous question, most people came in at a 6. So I guess you can say a majority of them have heard or know somebody who goes to these law schools. In terms of kind of what is the most important consideration for your search, obviously, I think it's kind of no-brainer cost of tuition. So, tuition, fees, supplies, that's kind of the big thing for a majority of students, especially those who want to attend um, a very expensive law school. Most students want to make sure that the school they're going to is affordable to them in the future. Kind of like in your own words, how much are would these students be willing to pay? Most students came in at about, say, about $20,000 to $30,000. It's how much students would really be wanting to pay to attend one of these law schools. So overall, kind of after kind of going over the whole research of these 5 different universities, I would recommend, based on my search, I would recommend the University of Texas A&M in Fort Worth, because obviously the university kind of provides. It's probably one of the cheapest in terms of tuition. I wouldn't say that it's, yeah, it is pretty much one of the cheapest in terms of tuition. And also pretty much location. Dallas Fort Worth area is a huge hub in Texas, and it offers pretty much an abundance of jobs for lawyers outside of law school who are looking to obviously get a job once they graduate. So here are my citations and everything. So yeah, thank you guys for taking the time to let me present um, uh, why I think these are the top 5 law schools in Texas and why I think these law schools will probably help you become a better, a high quality lawyer in the future.